Hi, my name's Prumihimo and I would like to show you how to make beautiful beaded braids on the Prumihimo disc. I designed this disc to enable braiders to use quite a complex braid and make some really stunning jewellery. And this video is all about how you add beads to the jewellery. You can add beads onto these braids in 4 different ways. You can add them on one side of the braid, as in this bracelet here. You can add them on 2 sides of the braid, as in this bracelet. This bracelet has beads on 3 sides of the braid, and you've guessed it, this one's got beads on 4 sides of the braid. First of all, it's very important to say that you need to have learnt how to use my disc. It's slightly more advanced than normal braiding, so please look at my previous video teaching you how to make braids on the Prumihimo disc, which is a patented product, and it shows you how to get the braids really nice and straight. Practice until you can braid confidently and accurately, and then you're ready to start making some beautiful braids using this fabulous new product. So the starting point for your braids is the same setup as you will have had before when you followed the previous video. So we're going to use thicker cords in the top and bottom slots at number 1 and at number 2, and those are the slots with dots. And we're going to use thinner cords in the top and bottom slots at number 3 and number 4. And I've used for these thinner cords S-Slon beading cord, 0.5mm. That's nice and strong, and that will carry my beads really firmly, and I can be confident in that. And I'm using a thicker cord here. This is satin cord. You may have come across it called rat tail, and here I'm using the 1.5mm diameter, and that will give my braid the substance. It'll make it faster to braid up, make it a nice sort of chunky bracelet to carry the beads. So this is our starting point, and what I'm going to show you first of all is how to add the beads in on just one cord. So what you need to do is thread beads onto the top cord at number 3. And you can just keep them in place with a stop bead, which is just a spare bead, a size 6 bead probably. You just run through it twice in the same direction, and that means you can move the bead up and down the cord to keep those beads nice and close to your disc. And as you need more cord, you can just pull on the bead and that will release more cord for you to use. So your starting point is going to be, for the first cord, you're going to have beads on the top cord at number 3. Right, so we're ready to go. Let's have a quick recap on how to braid with the Prumihimo disc. First of all, a word about tension. You need to braid with your disc level, with the cords nice and tight on the face of the disc, with the knot in the middle of the hole and level with the top of the disc. So the movements you're going to do, starting with number 1 at the top, is top to bottom, bottom to top, bottom across. Number 2, top to bottom, bottom to top, bottom across. Number 3, top to bottom, bottom to top, bottom across. And number 4, top to bottom, bottom to top, bottom across. So now when we're ready to start adding the beads, we start the sequence again. So at number 1, with our thick cords, top to bottom, bottom to top, bottom across. Number 2, top to bottom, bottom to top, bottom across. Now at number 3, where our beads are, drop a bead down so it sits in the V created by those satin cords on either side. Then bring the cord over and put it in the slot. Now you may need to just pop your thumb there because it's very important that that bead stays in that position. And so I've made the disc this size and shape so it's an easy reach for most people to just tap on the bead to keep it in position. Once you're happy it's in position, continue with the moves. Bottom to top, bottom across. Keep an eye on that bead the whole time. I'm continuing round to number 4 and I'm doing my top to bottom, bottom to top, bottom across moves there. Once those moves have been completed, that bead is locked into position. Now, I've told you to put the beads at this stage just on one cord. So we're going to continue on round. And that cord is now on the bottom at number 3. So we do a full sequence without adding any beads. At number 1, at number 2, and at number 3. Don't worry that I've got beads on mine. I'm all loaded up to show you how to put beads on different positions. You won't have any beads on this cord at this stage. So we do our top to bottom, bottom to top, bottom across, top to bottom, bottom to top, bottom across. Now, in the next sequence of moves, you will find that that cord has returned to the top at number 3. So as we carry on round with our moves at number 1, always remembering the 3 moves, and at number 2, again remembering the 3 moves. Now at number 3 we do the same thing. We drop a bead in, make it sit in that little V, bring the cord over, pop it into position if we need to, continue our moves, and then carry on round to lock it into position with those moves at number 4. So continue to add the beads in that way, and every time the beads are on the top cord at number 3, add in a bead, and this is what will happen. You will end up with your beads evenly spaced along one side of the braid. Now I'd like to show you how to add beads on 2 sides of the braid. So we start in the same way with our moves at number 1 and number 2, remembering always our 3 moves. Now at number 3, we drop in a bead as before from the top cord, and this time we add in a bead also from the bottom cord, and that needs to sit in the inverted V opposite the first bead. And it's very important they don't jump over the middle, they must sit in their own separate V's. And then I'm going to continue my move, finishing off that 3rd move. Then I'm going to carry on round to number 4, and as before this locks those beads into position. I'm going to show you that again. So I'm doing my moves at number 1, my moves at number 2, and this time I'm putting the beads in on either side again, making sure they're in position, being ready to reach over with my thumb if necessary, and completing the moves at number 4. And so forth. So continue braiding in that manner. Because you have beads on both the top and bottom cords at number 3, you add in a bead from both cords in each sequence of moves. And this is what you will end up with. The beads are closer because you're doing them in every sequence of beads, and they're on both sides of the braid in neat rows. Now I'm going to show you how to put beads on 3 sides of the braid. This time put beads on both the top and bottom cords at number 4, as well as the beads you've already got on the top and bottom cords at number 3. We start as ever in the same way by completing our 3 moves at number 1 and at number 2. Now I'm going to drop in a bead from the top cord as before and from the bottom cord. I'm going to finish my move, making sure that those beads stay in position. Now I'm going to turn the disc, and although I've got beads on both the top and bottom cords, I'm only going to add in a bead from the top cord. It goes in exactly the same way. It sits in the V created by the satin cords, and then I finish the move and the bottom move, and I continue on round. So now in the next sequence of moves, I do exactly the same thing. I do my moves at number 1 and at number 2. At number 3, I add in a bead from both cords. And at number 4, I just add in a bead from the top cord. And I complete my moves. So continue to braid like that, adding in a bead every time you move both top and bottom cords at number 3 and just the top cord at number 4. And this is what you will end up with. Your beads on 3 sides of the braid, and the underside of the braid is smooth. So this is a really handy thing for making bracelets. A really comfortable bracelet can be made like this. Now I'm going to show you the final position for beads on the braid made on the Prumihimo disc. You need beads again on all 4 cords, top and bottom at number 3, top and bottom at number 4. And off you go with your moves at number 1 and at number 2. Then at number 3, drop in a bead from the top cord and from the bottom cord, complete your moves, and then at number 4, same thing, drop in a bead from the top cord and the bottom cord. Now you've got a lot of beads to keep under control there. It's quite likely you're going to need to keep using your thumb. You can just tap your thumb into position and then remove it to make sure everything's okay. Continue on round. So I'll show that again. So our moves at number 1 and number 2. And then we're going to drop in top from number 3, bottom number 3, top number 4, bottom number 4, and that completes the sequence. So continue to braid like that, adding in a bead every time you move one of the thin cords. And what you will get is a braid like this, where you've got beads evenly spaced all the way around the braid in straight lines. Well, I hope you found that useful and I hope you've enjoyed it. Now do lots of practice. Make sure you get your tension right, make sure you can braid really accurately and your beads are getting in the right positions, and then it's time to start on a project. Take a look at my other videos. I'm going to be regularly uploading new videos of projects and techniques so that you'll be able to learn all sorts of great designs like these, like the one I'm wearing, like these, and all of your own ideas. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. If you want to be kept updated with what I'm up to with my videos, just hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.